Silver is within years of becoming the first metal to become extinct, according to the USGS. At some point, the silver shortage is going to become so obvious that people are going to rush to turn in their depreciating dollars for real silver money. That is just the monetary demand of silver. The industrial and strategic demand is another huge factor that we should consider.
Connection established.
Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. Folks, this is going to be an incredible video. We have a lot to talk about. Did you know that a single Tomahawk missile requires 500 ounces of silver? That's an entire monster box. Things are getting crazier. I'm going to update you guys with the war on Ukraine and why this matters, not only for obviously, geopolitical reasons, but also for silver. As we saw in this article right here, it takes 500 ounces. So I want to discuss this whole situation. I would love for you guys to chime in as well. But first, I wanted to mention that I am doing a silver giveaway. If you want a chance to win some silver shipped straight to your front doorstep, all you gotta do is click one button, and that button is subscribe. So go head over, links in the description or the pinned comment. May the luckiest stacker win. This article actually came out today. This is the freshest, most up-to-date news regarding the war in Ukraine. You can see this article was written 2 hours and 57 minutes ago. Another update was written 4 hours and 50 minutes ago. So I'm giving you guys the newest, latest, freshest, most up-to-date, recent information in the world, and more specifically, how that will affect the price of silver. We're going to be covering both of these articles since they go hand in hand. There's actually a pretty funny comment someone made after reading this little section saying it sounds like it may be more cost effective to just drop a monster box of silver from 20,000 feet. Obviously, since a Tomahawk missile requires 500 ounces of silver, that is a monster box. And imagine 500 ounces of silver coins dropping from 20,000 feet. I thought that comment was pretty funny. But anyways, let's go into this. Like I said, link to these articles will be in the description. And with that, let's talk silver. Zelensky to CNN on suggestions to negotiate with Putin. It's impossible to compromise with a liar. This stuff is going to be pretty heavy, but we have to talk about this because this directly will affect the price of silver. This is not a political channel. So they go into how it's, impossible to negotiate with them when you want to have a compromise or a dialogue with somebody. You cannot do it with a liar. The Wagner leader's fiery end after apparently receiving promises over his freedom to continue operating just weeks after leading a revolt against Putin's handling of the war was a warning to be heeded. While the United States and other key Ukrainian allies continue to supply weapons to Kyiv, stressing that conditions to pursue a just and durable peace are not yet in place. Several other prominent world leaders, such as Brazil's Luiz da Silva, have put the onus on Ukraine to end the war. Ukraine's leader pointed to examples of other countries that have been attacked by Russian soldiers and continue to be partly occupied by Moscow as support for his position. Did you see any compromise from Putin on other issues with Georgia, with Moldova? Zelensky asked rhetorically. At least one dead and 70 injured in missile strike on Kyiv, says Ukrainian officials. That's another 500 ounces down the drain. A Russian missile strike on the center of Kyiv killed one person and injured 72 people on Friday. A police officer was killed in the Russian strike. 3 more ones were rescued from the rubble by the State Emergency Service. Ukrainian Minister of Internal Affairs said in a Telegram post on Friday they are in serious condition. So it seems like things are still escalating, especially with the United States in this. Who knows what retaliation could be in place, especially if someone wins the election again. This could be very scary times. Talk about 3 administrative buildings were damaged, 7 residential buildings were damaged, including a multi-story building. So here's another piece of information that was posted 5 hours and 23 minutes ago. Russia shoots down Ukrainian drone over Bullion, and that's from the Defense Military. Russian Ministry of Defense says it foiled what it called another attempt by Ukraine to carry out a attack with drones, this time over that city. It's around 5:30 p.m. an attempt by the Kyiv regime to carry out a attack by an aircraft type UAV on objects on the territory of the Russian Federation was thwarted. The ministry said in a statement on Friday. Air defense forces on duty over this city intercepted 3 unmanned aerial vehicles, 2 of which were destroyed in the air. Earlier today, the ministry said it had repelled another Ukrainian drone attack in attempt. Kyiv has launched several strategic aerial strikes in Russian territory in the last few months. These missiles acquire a lot of silver, right? Remember, silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity, and is perfect for military equipment, space equipment, dental alloys. There's colloidal silver in the medical world. It's used in everything. Actually, back in biblical ancient times, they thought silver was magical. They thought it was magic because it responded to elements like no other metal, because it can purify water. It has antimicrobial properties. Silver literally purifies water. If you drop silver in milk, it keeps the milk fresh longer. I mean, nothing is as useful. I can't say the word useful, I guess. Nothing is, especially when you're talking about technology, nothing even comes close to being as effective as silver, and that's why I don't think anything could ever replace silver. We're talking about gold and silver coming from meteorites. It's not like it grows in, or found in the Earth's crust. This is coming from meteorites, so in the entire universe, we're never going to find anything else that will just replace silver. Copper's a close second in terms of conductivity, but the quality just isn't even worth it, even though copper is much cheaper. That's why I don't think anything will be able to replace silver. Voting is underway in Russia, occupied parts of the eastern and southern Ukraine, as Moscow attempts to exert authority with elections the international community have widely dismissed as a sham. Anyways, that's kind of what's going on. First batch of Leopard 1 tanks arrived in Ukraine. This was 6 hours and 4 minutes ago, so it seems like things are just going crazy. Lithuania announces a donation of 4.5 million rounds of ammunition to Ukraine. And I mean, right now, who knows what's going to happen. Another missile launch system, air drones, logistical equipment, and other support will soon be transferred to Ukraine. That is more silver that is just going to be thrown away. So let's go to the second article, since they talk about silver. Maybe we'll read some of these comments and see what these people have to say. I would also love to see what you have to say as well. So, interesting facts on uses of silver and why you might want to own some. Then the elites are doing it on purpose, don't know about that. But some interesting facts are, as a result, it is within years of becoming the first metal to become extinct, according to the USGS. At some point, the shortage is going to become so obvious that people are going to rush to turn in their depreciating dollars for real silver money, especially since silver is legal tender in several states now. They actually are bringing back the gold standard to some effect, and there are actually 23 states that are signing up for this. I made a video about that I think 2 days ago. And that is just the monetary demand for silver. The industrial and strategic demand is another huge factor we should consider. I'm glad they brought up those second 2 parts. A lot of people just talk about the monetary demand, right? Almost half of the cost $269 million has become from the 191 Tomahawk missiles that have been launched into Libya. This was back in 2011. So remember, let's just replace that with, you know, Kyiv or into Ukraine. But we're not talking about, the same situation. But you guys get it. Back in 2011, silver was $50. So obviously, this number, 269 million, is going to be a lot different. But it is extremely interesting to know that each Tomahawk missile has more than a monster box, 500 ounces of silver inside of each missile. Pure silver has the highest electrical and thermal conductivity of all metals. That's what I was just saying. When there is a $1.5 million missile, this is being used to secure more oil for the empire. The elite will use only the best materials to ensure the best performing results. And that's why they won't use copper, even though it is close second, but nothing performs as well. And that's what I was also mentioning. This guy obviously knows his stuff because he hit the nail on the head with stuff I mention all the time. So this guy, like I said, says it must be more cost effective to just drop a monster box. This guy says, I hope we waste another 50 tons on Gaddafi. They must have added a lot of silver per missile since the Second Gulf War. I recall someone on the news at the time of quoting about 60 ounces per missile. Price tag per missile must have tripled in 8 years. It was around $600,000. And that price tag did triple in 8 years because silver was $50 at the time they were writing this. It has to go somewhere, probably in a gazillion pieces, but it's still there somewhere. This guy's talking about, is there a situation where the IRS ever went after anyone with personal property of AGEs or ASEs confiscated for back taxes at face value? I've actually talked about silver confiscation in the past. Obviously, you guys remember, or some of you might remember, the Executive Order 6102 by FDR in 1930, stating that your gold that you have in your safe is no longer yours. It is owned by the Federal Reserve, so you got to turn it in. And if you don't, you're going to pay a $10,000 fine, which back in that's probably, hundreds of thousands of dollars today, or 10 years in prison, or both. They were obviously buying the gold off of you at spot price, but they're saying if you try to hold some, you're going to go to prison or pay a fine, or both. Anytime, and they've confiscated people's gold several times throughout history. I've made videos about this, actually mentioning every single time that they did confiscate gold, and it's usually in times of war or economic uncertainty. Both of those things are going on right now. I'm not saying gold, let's switch that with silver, because it is within years of becoming the first metal to become extinct, because silver is real money. The dollar is depreciating. Silver is used industrially and monetarily. And if it's gone, if we are advancing technologically and need silver for the world to go green, saving the planet with global warming and climate change, flooding the earth with solar panels, silver is heavily needed in electric vehicles. There's only like 50 grams per EV. They're trying to cut it down. But it's only like 50 grams considered, 500 ounces in a missile. But the point is, I could definitely see Biden coming out, or someone saying, we need to put a halt on the Green New Deal, or Elon Musk coming out saying we need to cut back the amount of Teslas we produce annually, or they say, help us save the planet, turn in your silver so we can make these solar panels, so we can reach that goal of zero net emissions by the year 2040 or the year 2050 or whatever they say, right? Try to make it seem like you're going to become the hero. That's what, if I was in that situation and had to convince everyone to turn this, I wouldn't say, turn it in or you're going to prison. I would try to turn it into a positive. Help us fix this problem. And that's just my opinion. I mean, they've banned silver before with the Hunt Brothers situation. Silver Rule 7, right? You couldn't buy silver on the COMEX, it was banned. And you couldn't sell it to your friends or anything. You had to sell it back to dealers that would then sell it to, right, you know who. Same situation as gold. But at the end of the day, we never know. We can speculate all we want. But interesting thing is silver is legal tender now in some states. Andy Schechtman mentioned that most states are saying any sovereign government you can use, like your pandas and your Britannias, maples, you can still use as legal tender as long as it's from a government and not a private mint, not generic rounds. But some states like Texas are just using U.S. minted coins, which is constitutional silver and eagles. So, as things play out, like I said, there's 23 states that are trying to do this. I'm curious to see which ones are going to just use United States minted coins and which are going to use all sovereign governments. Interesting stuff. But anyways, I thought this was a very good video to shed light on the situation, especially since things are still escalating and what that could, how that could impact and affect the price of silver. I would love for you to throw in your 2 cents. Let me know what you think about this. If you thought this video was educational, informational, or at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you want a chance to win silver shipped straight to your front doorstep. All you gotta do is click one button. That button is subscribe, and then go enter in the giveaway, read the rules, make the luckiest stacker win. If you wanted to purchase some of this shiny stuff, hit up Miles Franklin. Why, you may ask? They are one of the only few authorized dealers that still work with the U.S. Mint. Everyone else has to buy from a third party. So you're cutting out the middleman. And especially as Eagles premiums rise, this could be extremely beneficial since Andy Schechtman, who's the CEO, can still go directly through them. Let him know Silver Slayer sent you. That'll help you out. Andy would love, Andy loves you all, right? My community. He would love to hear that you guys came from me. It means a lot. And, it's a great company, highly respected. It's like buying from your friend compared to some random person online. You guys know Andy. You guys know that I'm very close to Andy. So if anything were to happen or anything, you can hit me up, email me, and I'll hit up Andy or call him for you. So it really is like kind of having a very reputable dealer as a friend. And like Andy always says, relationships are critical, especially moving forwards as it becomes harder to find silver. So I'm glad I can offer you all that opportunity. Remember, hit up info@milesfranklin.com and let them know I sent you. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.